What's going on, everyone? So, we're here talking about green today, and if this is the first one that you're watching, just know that we're going through all the colors, and there's going to be one video uploaded every day, each one discussing a new color and how it kind of fits into Dragoborne, and where I think this color is going to be useful, and pairing it with other colors, and yeah, trying to evaluate what's going to happen with this game. So, jumping right into this, I think that green is definitely the most splashable color. I feel like if you're playing just two colors, I feel like you should throw green in there, simply because of the abilities to let you gain more resources. That's really huge in this game because it lets you play your larger creatures faster and essentially crushing your opponent before they have a chance to do anything. But I feel like on its own, green might not be able to function. I feel like they don't have enough stuff to be able to run like a mono green deck. But there are some really amazing cards that do fit in with the other colors, and I think that's where this deck is going to shine the most, or this color. But yeah, we got stuff like Fleetwing Sprite and Red Fang, which is one of the first cards revealed, that just let you add extra resources. And I just think being able to do that is so huge, especially being able to play Fleetwing Sprite on turn 1 into a second Fleetwing Sprite, and you're already sitting at 5 resources on turn 1, while your opponent has 3 going into 4. That just swings the game in your favor. I mean, you do lose hand advantage, but then you can play stuff like Rejuvenate that have a lot of synergy, and just replenish those cards that you have already played out. Expedition Merfolk is another great example of blue that kind of fits well with green, because it's a 1-drop blue creature, and I forget if it's when it's destroyed or when it blocks, you get to rest another creature. So it's really good at defending, and then if it's green Drago Crossed, when it's destroyed you get to add it into your resource zone. So just more of that ramping ability. But green does offer a lot of other great cards, such as Eleanor and Mischievous Sprite, which are both ambush destruction. So if your opponent's playing a really ambush heavy deck and they've got some powerful stuff like Pyroblast or Death Trap, Eleanor can either destroy them or shut them off, and Mischievous Sprite can summon itself and destroy them. Well, not summon itself, but when it's summoned it destroys them. So I feel like that just allows for so much advantage, and being so splashable, quote unquote, I think that just makes those cards even better. Simply because anyone can run Eleanor, and it doesn't have to be a specific color Drago Crossed to destroy a card. It just can't be Drago Crossed at all. And I think that's an amazing ability. And it's definitely going to make Eleanor really sought after in my eyes. But green is also full of a lot of powerful ambushes, such as Kingslayer B, which, if you guys have been watching my videos, you know that this is one of my favorite cards. Essentially, when the fort's attacked, you just summon itself, rest another creature, and then you can even block with this card if you need to. I feel like this card just has a lot of value in the game. Simply being able to rest a creature and block, that's 2 creatures that can no longer attack, and they have to spend 1 to get through the Drago Shield, so there's 3 creatures, and then if you have something like the Keeper paired with it, that's all 6 attackers that would be gone just trying to destroy that 1 fort. So I feel like he does offer just a lot to this game. But then we've also got stuff like Nature's Touch, which I'm not a huge fan of this card, but I do see value in it. When a creature is destroyed on your opponent's turn, you can summon that creature back. So that summons some giant stuff like Zarko. They can summon Angelica back if she happens to die. But I think this is best when it's used with on-summon abilities, such as Mischievous Sprite. When it dies, you flip this, bring it back, and then get to destroy another one of your opponent's ambushes. So this card is also really great in a red or black matchup, simply because of how much destruction abilities are in that deck. So when they play their Gluttony of Albert at the fort, you can flip Nature's Touch and bring it back. I believe it's just one creature. Yeah. So you would get to bring back one of those creatures that would be destroyed. So this may be a great side deck card. I'm not too big a fan of main decking it, but we'll see how this goes. But for the red matchup, we have stuff like Falthalas and Gigantor Weevil that counter red really hard. And I believe the only other red counter we've seen is like one card from the blue and one card from yellow. But with green being so splashable, even if you're playing like a black deck with no real good red counters, you'd be able to play Falthalas and Gigantor Weevil simply because you have that green banner and allows for an easy one-drop of Falthalas. And then it also has really powerful cards such as Terrax or Remus, but mostly Terrax simply because late game you can drop it for 4 and you're putting an 8/8 body on the field. Remus does offer a lot of utility too, because allowing you to draw cards, and when played with yellow you get to replenish your barriers. So he does fit nicely in yellow. But then we've also got some other cards that offer a lot in any color deck. So something like Aldine, this card switches and swaps, but either one. It switches one of your barriers or swaps one of your barriers to a different fort, essentially putting more there for your opponent to have to destroy, which means they're going to have to spend more attacks there, and you might have more blockers or more ambushes there, and this is just an overall really good card. I mean, it's getting really hyped up, and people are picking up 4 of them. I mean, I can understand picking up a playset, but I don't know if 4 is really where you want to go with this card. I think 2 is just fine. But another really amazing splashable card while playing green is Leilania's Call. And this is one of those cards you could even play if you're not playing a green banner, simply because of how good it is when hit as a fort burst. So you're able to drop a card that costs 7 or less, which right now is everything, I believe, aside from this being the first barrier broken. If you have Terrax in your hand, you wouldn't be able to summon Terrax. But any other card in the game right now, you could summon if you hit this card as a fort burst. So I think that's amazing. And then even with this card, this makes Eleanor a 2-drop, which, I mean, that puts a lot of pressure on your opponent right there. So I think this card is really amazing. But yeah, overall, I don't think green would be able to function as its own deck. I think its best use is to be splashed into other colors. So my recommendations would be red, simply because you're using stuff like Fleetwing Sprite, getting more resources out there to be able to drop your Zarko quicker, and then using Leilania's Call too, being able to drop Zarko on your opponent's turn and dealing 6 damage. I mean, you're getting extra blocker. Depending on what state of the game you're in, you could be able to board wipe them, which is just insane on their turn 1 or turn 2. But then one of the other places that I think this deck does fit in nicely is in a yellow, green, blue deck like Mystical Hunters. Simply because I feel like these colors just work well together, while similarly to how red and black just kind of naturally work well together. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what color you're most excited for. And be sure to follow me on Twitter. Link is down in the description below, as well as links to Dragoracle and the Facebook page, where we are finally over 1,000 members. So if you aren't part of that already, go there and join them. And as always, thanks for watching.